With the NBA season likely being over for the 8 teams that weren't invited to Orlando, I thought now would be a good time to evaluate these teams' rookies since the majority of these teams had high draft picks last season and are in the midst of a rebuild. I decided I'd start this series off with the player who is the most highly recruited high school prospect from his draft class and is a huge part of the rebuild going on in the Big Apple, that being 20-year-old shooting guard RJ Barrett. What's going on, everybody? It's Jelly J NBA back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to break down RJ Barrett's rookie season in almost a report card format, where I grade him on the different aspects of the game. But before we get into today's video, I want to thank you guys for your continued support on this channel. It means the world to me, and if you are new here and enjoy the NBA, consider subscribing. I upload every single day. Now, the 3 things I will be grading RJ on will be his offense, defense, and playmaking ability. I will highlight some of the reasons why he deserved that grade in my opinion, as well as highlight some of the reasons why he didn't deserve a higher grade than the one I gave him. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the biggest part of RJ Barrett's game, that being his offense and unique scoring ability. Barrett struggled in his first season in New York, averaging 14 points on roughly 13 shots a game, shooting 40% from the field and 32% from 3. Now, I believe these numbers have somewhat to do with Barrett's consistency struggles this season, but more to do with how bad the Knicks were. When you play for a bad team and lose a lot of games, it's very difficult to remain efficient. Take LeBron James's rookie season for example. The Cavs won only 35 games that season, and LeBron shot an abysmal 41% from the field and 29% from 3. Now here's what I really like about RJ's offensive game. He uses his athleticism and size at his position to punish smaller defenders and finish among big men in the paint. Standing at 6'6", playing shooting guard allows RJ to see multiple mismatches a game, where smaller defenders are matched up against him. Here, he gets matched up with a smaller defender in Devontae Graham. Barrett immediately notices the size advantage and takes Graham down low on the block, where he uses his strength to get an easy look at the rim. Same thing here matched up against Devin Booker. Now here is where RJ's insane body control is shown off. Booker does a great job of forcing Barrett baseline, giving him a harder adjustment when he gets to the basket, but RJ is somehow able to adjust in midair and somehow finish with a finger roll at the rim. Barrett also loves to use these ballerina-like twists and turns when he drives to the paint on big men. In this clip, he goes right at potential Defensive Player of the Year Anthony Davis, leaning into him and then twisting his body to readjust his shot right before he lands. Finishing at the rim will be a huge part in Barrett's offensive game until he proves he can knock down the 3. This is where his consistency struggles showed off most this season. He would knock down some 3s, but then would airball a shot that looked almost exactly the same a possession later. Now this won't knock his grade down too much for me, because coming into the league, scouts knew that it would take time for RJ to develop a consistent jump shot since he only shot 30% from 3 in college. With all of this being said, I'd give RJ Barrett a B+ grade for his offense this season. Obviously, like I pointed out earlier, his efficiency will continue to be a problem for as long as the Knicks are a bad team, but I believe he has shown me enough offensively in his first season that he still has a lot of time to grow on offense. Now let's get into the most interesting part of RJ Barrett's game in my opinion, that being his defense. Barrett's 6'10" wingspan and superb athleticism gives him the recipe to become a force defensively. It's just a matter of if he buys into playing defense or not. Once again, being on a bad team will not help your defensive stats at all, but Barrett did have some plays this season that hinted at what he can become with good coaching. This is probably my favorite RJ Barrett defensive play all season. In a tight game, Barrett's defense comes alive. Watch how he hustles this entire play, running around the screen and then using those long arms to intercept the drop-off pass to Jarrett Allen. Oh, and he finishes with an and one the other way. Barrett does almost the exact same thing in this clip here against the Nuggets. He runs around the Jokic screen, leaving Gary Harris with an easy pass to Jokic for the layup, but Barrett uses those long arms and speed to break up the pass once again. Now, not only does RJ use this length in the passing lanes, he also uses it to contest shots at the rim. This clip right here is what I mean by when I say if he buys into playing defense. Once again, another close game, Barrett comes to help from the weak side and contests Marquise Chris at the rim. There's not many times where you see a 2-guard contest a center at the rim. If the Knicks are fully committed to building around RJ Barrett, they will mold him into a two-way player because he easily has the tools to become one. With all of this being said, I give RJ Barrett's defense in his rookie season a solid grade of B. There weren't a lot of times where RJ's defensive potential was on display this season because of how bad the Knicks were. But when it was on display, the league was sent a message as to what this kid can become. Now let's get to the most questionable part of RJ Barrett's game going forward, that being his playmaking ability. And this is in large part due to what the Knicks plan to do with the future of the point guard position. RJ surely has enough skill to become the secondary playmaker on a team, but he struggled this season, averaging 2.6 assists and 2.2 turnovers. A lot of these turnovers came when RJ telegraphs a pass or just waiting a second too long before a hand gets in there and breaks up his dribble. Out of every category that we've covered so far, I think this is where Barrett struggled the most during his rookie season. But I'm not going to knock Barrett's grade in this category too much, because he was only 19 years old this year, and bad decision making is going to come along with a young rookie on a struggling team. I'd give Barrett a C+ grade in this category, but I do believe that once the Knicks really start to pull things together in this rebuild, this grade has a chance to rise. Overall, for RJ Barrett's rookie season, I would give him the grade of B. I think he showed enough potential in his rookie season as to why the Knicks selected him with the 3rd overall pick and is easily the best young piece on the Knicks roster moving forward. And that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as well as let me know what other players I should cover in this rookie report card series. And I hope to see you guys in the next one.